Hazard, Hudson Odoi and the big questions raised by Christian Pulisic's Chelsea transfer. Chelsea have acted decisively to complete what is likely to represent the headline deal of the January transfer window less than 2 days after it opened. The FA Cup holders have beaten stiff competition to land the services of Christian Pulisic from Borussia Dortmund, who will be immediately loaned back to the Bundesliga leaders for the rest of the season. By the time the 20-year-old arrives for pre-season training, the composition of Chelsea's squad is likely to be markedly different from the one currently vying for Champions League qualification, and his transfer raises some intriguing questions. Chelsea would comfortably have been able to afford the £57.5 million fee it took to secure Pulisic's transfer, regardless of any windfall they may receive in the summer for Eden Hazard, but it now appears more likely than ever that their talisman will depart come the end of the season. Hazard has been in scintillating form ever since Maurizio Sarri replaced Antonio Conte and instilled his attacking, possession-oriented ethos in a squad that had grown frustrated with his predecessor's conservative tactics. The 27-year-old thrived, primarily, in a wide role and rediscovered his goal touch following a 12-game barren run after Sarri opted to deploy him in a false nine role, having grown frustrated with the form and fitness of Alvaro Morata and Olivier Giroud. Despite his apparent happiness on the pitch, Hazard is no closer to agreeing an extension to his current contract, which expires in 2020, and has shelved a decision on his future, ominously, until the summer. Real Madrid have been long-term admirers, and although they will need to undertake a sizable rebuilding job of their own, the attraction for Hazard remains strong. Wrapping up a deal for Pulisic 6 months in advance suggests Chelsea know which way this particular wind is blowing. Figuratively speaking, there aren't many Premier League boots bigger to fill than those of Hazard's, who is almost single-handedly spearheading Chelsea's hopes of a top-4 finish. Despite all of his promise, Chelsea are hardly signing a ready-made replacement. Indeed, a return of just 10 goals and 13 assists from 81 Bundesliga matches for a club geared to attack and blessed with some of Europe's finest attacking players in recent years, clearly indicates Pulisic is far from the finished article. The American international has been usurped by English teenage sensation Jadon Sancho in Lucien Favre's free-flowing side, which currently enjoys a 6-point lead at the top of the table, and has started only 5 matches in the Bundesliga this season. Chelsea fans will be hoping for more of this from Christian Pulisic next season. #cfcpic.twitter.com/fk9txe2u, Metro Sport, @metro_sport, January 2, 2019. Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp, who handed Pulisic his debut, had been tracking the winger but have reportedly decided he was unlikely to make an immediate impact in their first team given the form of Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah as well as the squad depth offered by Xherdan Shaqiri. Although it could be said that Hazard was hardly prolific when Chelsea won the race to sign him 7 years ago, he had been the driving force behind Lille's unlikely Ligue 1 triumph and was joining a Champions League winning side. Antonio Conte's downfall was largely triggered by the breakdown in his relationship with Chelsea's board over a particularly scattergun transfer policy which resulted in the club wasting well over £100 million over the past 12 months on the likes of Timu Bakayoko, Danny Drinkwater, Emerson Palmieri and Davide Zappacosta. Having worked under Aurelio De Laurentiis, perhaps the most outspoken and invasive owners in European football, Sarri appears content enough to let those above him make the decisions as long as he is left to his own devices on the training pitch. Chelsea's decision, however, to invest so heavily in Pulisic does, however, appear to be at odds with Sarri's vision, given his treatment of Chelsea's youngsters this season. Ruben Loftus-Cheek has impressed whenever he has been given an opportunity to do so, but appears no nearer to cementing a regular first-team spot than he has been under a succession of Chelsea managers. Callum Hudson-Odoi, meanwhile, appears ready to follow Sancho's lead and head for the Bundesliga amid interest from Bayern Munich, having grown frustrated with a lack of Premier League opportunities. In Europe there are few 18-year-old players with 8 matches at this level. Odoi has played 6 or 7 matches this season, so I think that he has to be lucky. Not lucky, he is good, said Sarri after the teenager made his Premier League debut in the Boxing Day win at Watford. "He has the potential to be a great player and now he has to improve. With the ball, he is a very good player. He has to improve in movements without the ball. He has to improve in the defensive phase." Sarri is right in his assertion that none of Europe's elite clubs can afford to play the waiting game with promising young talent and might well be questioning the wisdom of investing so heavily in Pulisic, especially given Roman Abramovich's insistence on instant success. Chelsea spent a world record fee in order to compensate for the loss of Thibaut Courtois with what looks a wise and long-term investment in Kepa, while Jorginho has largely impressed as the fulcrum of a new-look midfield engine room. Pulisic may well end up being a long-term replacement for Hazard, but this Chelsea squad is in need of some immediate fixes, particularly given the likely upheaval in the summer. Pedro and Willian are out of contract, like Hudson Odoi and Hazard in 2020, while stalwart David Luiz, somewhat surprisingly, is yet to be offered a new deal. Chelsea maintain a long-standing interest in Kalidou Koulibaly who, like Jorginho, played under Sarri at Napoli but is wanted by a number of Europe's heavyweight clubs and have also reportedly registered an interest in Bayern Munich's Mats Hummels. The most glaring deficiency, however, in Chelsea's current squad is up front. Alvaro Morata has, after a bright start, been an unmitigated and expensive disaster, while Olivier Giroud was only ever likely to fulfill the same function he did during the tail end of his Arsenal career. Chelsea are investigating the possibility of bringing in Gonzalo Higuain as a stopgap, but the club's focus must surely center on bringing in an elite forward in the prime of his career during the summer window. Why Jurgen Klopp rejected chance to sign Christian Pulisic ahead of Chelsea. Christian Pulisic breaks silence on completing £57.5 million move to Chelsea. Chelsea star will play for club one final time before leaving permanently. Unai Emery hit with massive blow as Prem rival hijack deal for defender.